Welcome back, guys. Today we will be making a dwarven building complex focusing mostly on the entrance. But basically, I will be teaching you how to turn a random mountain complex that looks something like this into something more awesome like this. And do make the floor flat, as it does not come like this naturally. So, what do we do first? I'm gonna start with the enormous gate that will eventually look like this. And it's very important to imagine what your building will look like before you start building it. In case you're not that creative, you can always find cool concept art images online. Try World of Warcraft, for example. What you should start building would be large and simple portions of the structure. A basic layout helps more than you think, and it will help you with visualizing the whole project. For example, I plan to have 2 towers on the sides of the gate and a wall sealing off the large open area on the side. An important note about the walls is that you should avoid straight lines. Minecraft has simple graphics, but that doesn't mean you should make your builds simple as well. Adding curves or add-ons to anything can make it stand out and give it more depth. Regarding the other side, I made a bridge instead of one more wall since the area is much smaller and the bridge provides variety to the whole build. A big mistake that people usually make when building is forgetting to add more variation. If everything seems repetitive and similar, it loses that interesting look. That's why you should always prefer building asymmetrical builds. Anyways, by now you should have the foundation sorted out. Begin raising the walls and completing the basic structure. And keep in mind what I said, do not simply raise the foundation to the specific height. Try to add different portions and layers around each part and add as much variation as you can. For example, instead of raising these towers to the top, I made triangular surfaces coming out of the mountain. They still provide the same supporting function as the towers, but their shape is quite different. At this point, you'll want to start thinking about openings such as doors and windows. Find empty areas which seem to cover walls. Another thing I should mention is that you can go back to the previous steps if you missed out on things. I almost finished my foundation, but I realized that this area behind the wall is particularly empty, so I just raised one more tower. Platforming is also an interesting concept that can be applied to dwarven builds. Try to make walkable surfaces on different levels and maybe even connect them through the interior. This would actually work its way through the mountains, so I'm not going to do that right now because we will be focusing more on the exterior in this video. Put on some finishing touches at the gate and finalize its form. Make sure to remove any dirt that's blocking the path as well. Alright, so you can already see the final form and you could predict on how this is going to end, which means that it's time for the details. Start by placing an extended border on each edge. And use some slabs beneath the border to create a thin line. What about the windows? Well, try doing long vertical pop-outs since the build needs more depth. Making simple holes would not be as good as this. And I didn't fill them in with glass. Instead, I used glazed yellow terracotta to stimulate internal lights. I tried using coal blocks for the frame, but I created too much contrast and it turned out to look a bit cartoonish, so I used cobblestone instead. If you do choose the cobblestone, you can replace the upper and lower block with a slab to make the windows look longer. To finish up the borders, use a slab on every second block and end up with something like this. What you want to do now is decorate the wall with small things like vines, wall blocks, torches, pillars, and anything that removes that bland and empty look.